Hello, welcome back to the review for Transit Love Exchange Season 4. This is the review for episode 19. And today we are mainly going to be focusing on kind of the decisions people are making up until the final selection. Let's just get into it. At the beginning of the episode, Seung-young calls Minkyung outside. He apologizes to her for stirring things up between her and Yoosik and being like, oh, help me break Yoosik and Hyunji apart, because he was like, I didn't think about how hard this would be on you and also how difficult it would make things for Yoosik, and I was selfish and I feel bad, everybody's been seeing Minkyung fall apart. So he feels really bad about the whole situation and he's like, I just wanted to tell you sorry for everything. And she's like, oh no, it's fine, I understand. But it is a sweet moment where he admits that maybe he took things too far. And once again, this is a big reason that I like him, because he knows how to self-reflect and he understands what his actions do to other people. And he's really trying hard right now to win her back. And in that moment, he got kind of desperate, right, to get her back. But he knows how to reflect and he knows how to take accountability. And he knows how to try to be better. Based on what Hyunji has been saying about him, in the past, he was very, cold towards her. And he wasn't intuitive to her feelings or didn't try to be. But as we can see on the show, he's in my opinion, the most sensitive person on the show. Maybe a close second is Jaehyung. But I feel that he is very sensitive to how people feel. And he actually takes a lot of time to think about his actions. And I do think he thought about it before he roped Minkyung into the whole let's split them apart. And then afterwards was like, okay, actually, this was a bad idea. And this was more driven by my emotional desire to get back together with Hyunji. The reason I like him the most is because out of all the guys here, he has the most ability to reflect, take accountability, and change. And I don't see that same level of ability in some of these other guys like Wonggyu, like Woojin. Woojin, I think, is working on it. Woojin is him before he got better. And I believe Woojin wants to work on it and can work on it. But I don't think we are there. And I genuinely, I'll talk about this later, but I really believe Woojin needs to take anger management issues. Not because of anything he did. This episode actually has nothing. He didn't really do anything this episode. This episode doesn't get any, screen time. But just looking at him made me think about those two guys and how we've seen them portray themselves in the past. And I was like, damn, why can't you be more like him? So anyways, Seung-young continues to be the standard for men in this house, in my opinion. So we're just going to talk about all the dates together here because these dates are overall not important. Jihyun and Jaehyung, for example, they go on a date and Jihyun's like, oh, this date could totally change my final decision. Bro, she's lying for the camera. No, it can't. She's truly saying, empty words. She is resentful of Wonggyu, and while she has lingering feelings and regrets, and she doesn't want to see him get together with another woman because it makes her upset because she's like, but you were mine. You know what I mean? It's this possessiveness of a person that used to be yours but isn't yours anymore. She doesn't want to see him do it in front of her, but at the same time, she wants to meet someone else and she wants to be in a caring relationship. She's gonna choose Wonggyu at the end of the show. And she's gonna do it with resentment in her heart. I thought that was so stupid that we were even entertaining this. Jaehyung's gonna choose Jihyun because there's no one else he can choose. There's nothing he can do here. If Yoosik had chosen Jihyun, Jihyun would have moved on. Jihyun would not choose Wonggyu at the end of this. Jihyun is doing the thing she told Minkyung not to do, which is choosing her ex because she doesn't have a person who will choose her back. And I think that's so dumb. Anyway, that's why that date was useless. Hyunji and Yoosik's date, Yoosik is touching her hair. I'm like, whoa, whatever. They like each other. I don't care. You don't care. No one cares. Okay, Wonggyu and Jihyun go on a date and they're like, oh, let's both make a decision that we won't regret. Ha ha ha. And the romantic tension between them is dead. So that's over. Unfortunate. They do look at each other and they think oh, what could have been? But at the end of the day, Jihyun was moved by what Woojin was doing, seeing him make the ramen for her and attend to her. She saw how much Jihyun and Wonggyu still cared about each other and wanted each other. And I'm sure that she would have come to realize oh, there were probably times where he wasn't as interested in me as I thought he was. And that would have made her turn towards Woojin more. Wonggyu blew it, okay? Then Wonggyu, at the beginning, I've been saying this for a while, that Wonggyu was not that interested in Jihyun at the beginning. But as they kept on spending time together, he started to like her more and more. And in Japan, you do kind of finally see that where he actually is really interested in her and is liking her. But at the end of the day, he still has these leftover feelings for Jihyun. And there's still this desire to like make it work because he missed her. But like at this date, I feel like Wonggyu is just like, he's not pushing forward with it because he's like, well, I have this thing with Jihyun going on. But him and Jihyun are getting back together, feeling still resentful of each other and feeling like, oh, there's things from you that I want that you're not giving me. Both of them feel that way. And they're getting back together in that state. I just don't know how their relationship is going to last. They have some serious work to do if they're really going to make it work. Whereas Woojin and Jiyeon, I feel like have really talked about what it is that was missing. And Woojin understands very deeply that he made her feel lonely and he cannot do that again or else the same situation is going to happen. If at this point in time, Jiyeon was like, I'm not going back to my ex. I'm going to pursue someone new still and I still want to pursue Wonggyu. I genuinely do think Wonggyu would be swayed. I actually think we could be like, oh, this could be like a who knows situation. Genuinely. Because Wonggyu at that cafe when they were like looking at each other and like being like, let's both make a decision that, you know, we won't regret. Like he was looking at her like, damn, or whatever. And I do feel like they're feeling like, damn, what could have been. Later when they do the truth game, we'll get to that. Union Baekhyun, they have fun. We don't care. Later, Minkyung and Yoosik are talking in front of the elevator. They're up going to do the same shit. She's going again. Why'd you go out? Have you made up your mind? The same story, okay? Yoosik is like, whatever. And like while they're doing the same like dance that they've been doing this whole time, Hyunji runs down the hallway with like rollers in her hair. She turns to them, she goes, oh, and then she runs away. It's so crazy. Like, what is she doing, bro? Anyways, but she comes back out because she's like, I'm looking for a steam dryer. And Yoosik was looking for an opportunity to leave anyway, so... And she was like, oh, I'm trying to get into Wongyu's room because I need to borrow something from him, but, you know, he's not there. And Yushik's like, okay, I'll help you get in. And this is how they end the conversation. I just thought it was crazy that she was literally, like, how that they ran. This looks like she's a mistress living in a husband and wife's house, and she's a mistress looking. It's crazy. While they're getting ready to go out, Hyunji goes to talk to Minkyung. And she's basically like, I want to know more about, like, why you guys broke up. And I've been thinking about what Sung-young said, and he's like not wrong. Logically, he's not wrong about the things that he's been talking to me about like realistic issues concerning like marriage and maybe the future that people want. And Minkyung is like, oh, with me, he always said he didn't want to get married when he wasn't ready. He didn't feel stable. And then she mouths to Hyunji, Yoosik is anti-marriage. So the word pyeon literally means anti-marriage. So it means somebody who doesn't believe in marriage, okay? And that's what she mouths to Hyunji. Minkyung is like, oh, how are you feeling? And Hyunji's like, I feel like Yushik's not the type to say exactly what he's thinking. And so because of that, it's hard to feel certain about what his feelings are, and it doesn't give me the assurance I need. She reaffirms that she thinks Sung-young makes good points and that he's thrown away all of his pride to try to get back together with her. So of course that makes her think about it. And that's basically how that conversation ends. So I want to say something right now. I think it was downright disrespectful for Hyunji to ask Minkyung this question. I feel like no one online has this take, and I don't understand why. When she asked this, I was like, what do you think you're doing? I understand that she's curious about Yushik's thoughts concerning like marriage in the future. And the only other person who would know that deeply in detail other than Yoosik is Minkyung. But Minkyung has been suffering. You were her roommate. You know how much she's been suffering. You know that she has gone through hell and back here. She's been crying every night. Her eye has popped, bro. And you're telling me you're asking her why they broke up so you can make a decision? Think about that for a second. Now, Minkyung, I really do think answered honestly, and I really do believe that Minkyung believes that he is anti-marriage. Because in her mind, it doesn't make sense that he could date her for 9 years and then not have any ideas or thoughts about marriage. He wouldn't even talk about it lightly. He never wants to talk about it at all. In her eyes, and honestly in my eyes, it does look like he just kind of wants to date around. And that is why he resents being in a relationship for so long, because he wants to meet that girl, this girl. He wants to have that experience in his 20s. Okay? Whatever, fine. But why'd you waste Minkyung's time? I've done this. It doesn't matter. The thing is, Minkyung has been suffering. And for you to ask her this question and expect an honest answer or two, expect her not to give an answer that would sabotage you is insane. I'm gonna tell you this right now, even if she knows that it's a logically, like she understands it's the wrong thing to do to feed you information that would deter you from that decision, in the state that she is in, she is not capable of thinking reasonably, okay? She is not sane right now, just to be clear. I'm not saying she's insane, but she is not sane either. And so any information you get from her, you have to take with a grain of salt, because she does not benefit from giving you information that helps you get together with him. So one, how do we even know that what she's saying is the truth? It doesn't make sense for you. It's not information you can trust in the situation that you're in. And even if she does, like, it might be an exaggerated truth. Two, it is disrespectful to the person who, like, you were hella tight with this whole time to even be asking her this. Why would you do this to her? Me? We've been roommates. We like the same person. It is what it is, bro. It's a dating show. Fine, whatever. I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to date people. Okay. But then once everything is revealed, I would not go to the ex who I'm fighting with, essentially, for a guy, and be like, can you tell me this information so I can make my decision? At the very least, I wouldn't say, like, so I can make my decision. Maybe I would say it in a different way if I was really curious or something. But I just think it's wrong. I mean, like, if Minkyung had been suffering like this in front of me, there's no way I would do that to her. Because it's painful to her to have to talk about it to me, knowing that her ex might end up dating me. She's not your friend in this moment. Her acting like she can come to her and be like, bestie, give me some information, I think is selfish. We're moving on. All right, it's time for the truth game. So every year they do this thing where they play like a truth game where it's like everybody gets together at a bar or something and they basically ask each other questions and you can only refuse like one question. And like all the other questions you have to answer truthfully. Hyunji asks Yoosik if he's properly expressed himself to the person he's interested in. And Yoosik says no.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
So what are the couple rings about? And he was like in the interview, oh, there's still time. Things could change. We got 3 days left. What are you talking about? So that was crazy. But also, once again, avoided Yoosik. I don't put it past him. Disrespectful to Hyunji and disrespectful to Minkyung. Yoosik asks Hyunji if Baekhyun chose to like shake up Hyunji, would she have been shaken by him? And Hyunji says she wouldn't decide to get back together on emotions alone. So that's a non-answer. She didn't answer the question. She should have just said, I don't want to answer the question. Minkyung to Hyunji says, why are you hesitating on your final choice? Hyunji in the interview was like, oh, I felt put on the spot. I felt like it was kind of rude because we actually talked about it earlier. And she already knows why I'm like hesitating. And she was like, oh, like what we talked about earlier. And she's like, yeah, like what or whatever. She was just like, oh, like about values, like shared values. And I feel like the time here is short to like get to know someone and to like make a decision on someone. So that's why I'm concerned. Hyunji, you don't get to complain about Minkyung putting you on the spot when you literally did that to her earlier. I don't care if there weren't people there. You go to her and you ask her for advice. A person who is not saying, okay, about your love life problems that involve someone she dated for 9 years, you put her on the spot earlier, whether or not people were there, by asking that question, and you shouldn't have asked, period. So this to me, it fully felt hypocritical. I was like, you felt put on the spot. What about earlier when Minkyung was put on the spot by you? And then Wongyu asked Jihyun, what about Yoosik made your heart flutter? And she was like, Yoosik was caring and sweet and she wanted to date someone like that. And he was saying in the interview, he was like, I asked her that because I want to know how I should emulate him to make our relationship work. So I like that he's thinking about in the future how he should change and improve on himself to make Jihyun happier, right? So the same issues don't happen again. Yoon asked Baekhyun if he has more time and Hyunji decided to shake him up, would he be shaken up? And he says yes. And I'm like, big shocker. If they were less cowardly and more true to what they were really feeling, they would get back together on the show. Baekhyun asked Hyunji if the curry he made changed a lot or not. So now finally the big reveal after all these episodes that it was Baekhyun who made the damn curry. How dumb. Also, what was the meaning behind this question? Why even do this? Like, Yoonyoung's sitting right there. That can make her feel bad. It's like information that only the two of us know. What's the point of that? Yoosik feels like shit now. Sunyoung feels like shit, yeah. And Yoonyoung feels like shit now. You made 3 people feel like shit over some curry. Baekhyun asked Yoosik if he, like if Baekhyun himself, tried to get back together with Hyunji, would he have stuck with dating Hyunji? And Yoosik says yes. And Hyunji's like, well, now I'm confused by his answers in the interview, because she's like, oh, earlier you said that you had never given me a straight answer about whether you were interested in me or not, but now you're saying that you would have continued dating me even if Baekhyun tried to stir me up. So like, what's the truth? But Yoosik doesn't know how to give a straight answer, bro. All men do is lie. You're so right. You're actually so right. Minkyung asked Yoosik, what future did you envision with me? Because yesterday he was all like, there's a future I did envision with you. And she's like, can you tell me exactly what that was? And he just says, no matter what, I thought that I had to make Minkyung happy. And I never imagined that you wouldn't be by my side. This is a non-answer to me, but Minkyung in the interview says she's always wanted to hear those words, and that makes her like tear up. And I thought that was weird, because I was like, but you said the future that you envisioned with me, can you say exactly what it is you meant by that? And what that answer should have been for Minkyung to be touched by it was, I thought we would someday get married or something like that. He just said, no matter what, Minkyung would be on my side. So what, are you saying you were going to date her for 10, 20, 30 more years? Someone who clearly wants to get married and have kids and build a family? You were just going to date her? Why are you, first of all, I don't think that's true, what he said, because he was tired of the relationship around year 7, based on what we know. But 2, even if it was true, then that means that you were just planning to date her, continuing as you were like this forever. How would that be good for her or for you? Oh, if that's exactly the future you envisioned, what Minkyung should have heard from that is, to the bitter end, he didn't use the word marriage. That means that he's willing to date me for the rest of his life, but he doesn't want to marry me. He's not interested in marriage. Our core values are different. So I need to let this go and move on and find someone who shares this core value with me. That's what she should have gotten from that. That pissed me off. I was like, why are you touched by that? It's a non-answer, and as a non-answer, it's a bad answer, because it still, in a way, is an answer that affirms what you were thinking. That he's probably anti-marriage, which is fine, but then why would you waste her time when you know that she's not? Last question of the truth game night thing, whatever. Okay. So Woojin asked Minkyung, he's like, oh, can you work hard until the end for the end result that you want? The purpose of asking this question, he says in the interview, is like, he wants everyone to know how sincere Minkyung is. Basically, he asked this trying to give her an opportunity to express herself to Yoosik, to show like how regretful she is and how she wants to get back together. Minkyung blows this opportunity, and I'm not surprised. And I don't know why anybody's expecting her to make good use of this opportunity, because once again, she is currently not in her right mind. But even for me, I was like, oh, that was the wrong thing to say. Minkyung answers Woojin. She's like, I think I've done everything I can, but no matter what happens, I know that Yoosik will regret it. Like fire, but also you shouldn't have said that. Imagine you are Yoosik. This girl is trying to get back together with you. You don't really want to get back together. And then she says, I've done everything I can, and I know that he will regret it in front of all these people. Okay? It's going to be on TV. If you are Yoosik, do you respond to that positively? You see what I mean? If I'm Yoosik, I'm like, I'm going to show her I'm not going to regret it. If I'm Yoosik, okay? I think that's how most people would think in this situation. It doesn't matter what Yoosik has done right, what Yoosik has done wrong. That's what he would think in this moment. You have an opportunity to express how much you love him and the times that you guys had together. But I'm saying that she's the one who wants to get back together. So unfortunately, a little bit of groveling is necessary. And you're not going to get somebody to change their mind by constantly being negative towards them, because it's just going to make them think, okay, nothing about this situation has changed. Why should we get back together? If you do like guilt tripping and you make them feel like you should get with me, because if not, you're going to regret it because I'm that great. Like, do you know what I mean? It makes the person feel really small. But then in the interview, she explains what she meant by that. And I was like, oh my God, what she said in the interview, she should have said at this table. In the interview, she says, I know he will regret it because I broke up with him first and I'm regretting it so much right now. So if he lets go of me first here, he will regret it like me. So I want to say, like, don't make a choice that you will regret, because I know what that regret feels like and it's so painful. And then she says, like, why didn't I think that he would be hurt? Why didn't I think that he was in pain too? Oh my God, Minkyung. Now I understand what you meant by that. But why didn't you say that at the fucking table? Why didn't you say that at the table, bro? If you had said that at the table, I actually do think that could have moved Yoosik really hard. On the way home, they're in the car, and Sunyoung is like, you're a super beauty. You can seduce anyone. You know when you're like two friends are trying to hype each other up, and they're like trying to be like, you're the best, you're fire, you're that bitch. Like, that's basically what he's doing with her. He's like, you will meet someone better. You are gonna be happy. He's like words of affirmationing her. It's like so crazy. And he's like, you're a princess. Say it, you're a princess. And she's like, yeah, I'm a princess. You're a princess. You're a super beauty. She's like, you're a prince. And he's like, yeah, you're right. You're a princess. I'm a prince. But look, she's so happy. Like, it made her so happy to hear this. And I was like, you know what? How cute would it be if Minkyung and Sunyoung dated? He's 28 and she's what, 21? They're like 7 years apart. In Korea, that's like a lot. In Korea, that's a lot. But like, they have similar values. They both want to get married. They're both very serious people. Anyways, this car moment is cute. So Hyunji and Yoosik are in the hallway. All right. Hyunji is just like following him around, and Yushik's like, oh, go to bed. Why aren't you going to bed? She clearly doesn't want to go inside, okay? But he don't want to talk to her. She's like, why do you keep trying to send me away? And she's clearly trying to get to spend more time with him. But when she says that, he just laughs. He's like, ha ha ha. Aren't you sleepy? You're not tired. You have to think about tomorrow. Aren't you sleepy? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, finally Hyunji is seeing the avoidant Yoosik that Minkyung has been dealing with the whole show. And then Yoonyoung like is walking down the hallway. She turns and then she sees them together and she's like, oh, and then she walks away. Yoosik asks Hyunji, what should I wear for tomorrow's X date? That's crazy. Why are you asking the girl that you're interested in what you should wear to your date with your ex? Go ask Minkyung. She was like, Anyways, he's like, oh, go inside or whatever. You're tired. So she goes inside. Even before she goes inside, he's like, look happier, like chin up. He's like, oh, chin up, like or whatever. Before she goes inside. It's like kind of weird because it's like, of course, her expression is going to be bad because she is upset that you don't really want to spend more time with her when you're going on the X date tomorrow. And you still haven't given her any assurance about the final decision. And it's like, after all this time, you've been doing everything you wanted up until now. Why are you suddenly trying to, you know, be respectful and go inside early? Like, the fuck? The episode ends like this. Yoonyoung comes back into the room. They're talking to Minkyung. And Yoonyoung's like, oh, by the way, I saw that Hyunji and Yoosik were talking in the hallway. And Minkyung goes, what? Where? And then Yoonyoung's like, oh, like they were outside of like his room, somebody's room, whatever. And then we like go to black. And that's how the episode ends. I was like, oh my God, please tell me that Minkyung doesn't go after him again. Please, Minkyung. Please, for the love of God, do not go find him again. Please, 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 please. And also, why is it always Yoonyoung? Why is it always Yoonyoung that catches him doing some shady shit? And why does she always tell Minkyung? We don't gotta tell Minkyung everything. Can I be honest? Minkyung didn't need to know that. Okay, I want to say this about the Truth Game. Out of all the seasons that I've seen, this was the least interesting one. Hands down. The questions were not that interesting. The answers were not that interesting. And the tension in the room, I don't feel like was really that high. And most of the answers were non-answers. Actually, a lot of the answers were non-answers. They didn't share any new information with each other. We didn't get any truth bombs about anything. And so for me, I was like, it just felt pointless. And in like seasons 1 through 3, those seasons, the truth games, they felt like they mattered. And in here, it really did not feel like it mattered at all. In the other ones, like things like changed, like people changed, people's thoughts changed because of truth games. And I don't think this did anything for anybody. I don't think this changed anything for anyone. Everybody spoke so ambiguously. So I was like, why are we even playing the truth game? Just go home. Do the same shit you're doing in the house then. Why are we even here, bro? Baekhyun also public enemy number 1 because his flip-floppiness between Hyunji and Yoonyoung is crazy work. He goes to Yoonyoung and he says, oh, I'm more interested in you. That's why I express myself in you. But then when you're with Hyunji, your eyes sparkle. And like you had that moment in like episode 10 where you guys were basically cuddling each other. The fuck are we doing, bro? He be flip-flopping. The minute Hyunji's in the sphere, everything goes like out the window. He's hella touchy. He's touchy with Yoonyoung in private. But then when he's with Hyunji in private, he's touching her too. What are we doing? Like his actions are not clear. Sungyoung is a green flag, and he could forget about Hyunji in due time. And then also in the preview for next week, they showed like a little bit of the X date. Like they showed like a little teaser of the X date, right? And in the teaser of the X date, Baekhyun tells Hyunji, first of all, he holds Hyunji's hand. For someone who says, oh, I moved on, I'm not going to get back together with my ex, why are you holding your ex's hand? You have to go back to the house that you, your ex, and the girl that you're interested in now share in like one house. And then in the car, he tells Hyunji, flip everything upside down. Yeah, you want to shake me, stir me up, win me over. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, he's always secretly wanted that. He just doesn't want to admit it because their relationship was toxic. But it's so wrong to be doing this when Yoonyoung is waiting for you at the house. Bro, I feel like bro is too timey. I know he's not, but it feels wrong. It feels slimy. I'm not gonna lie, it feels slimy. We'll see you in 2 days. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought about today's episode. If you thought it was good, bad, if you think that I have good reason to dislike Yoosik or not, like, I don't know. I'll see you guys this week for episode 20, which is the penultimate episode before the final episode. Bye-bye, bye, bye.